Another morning coffee and chat. I see Ben is in the room already. Good morning, brother. Well, good evening to you. Oh, you say you tagged me in a video that you just recently done, and I'd probably like it. I'm going to have to go over and check it out because once again, for one reason or another, whatever the case may be, am not getting very many notifications. For as many channels as I have subscribed to, I might get 10 notifications in a day's time. And it's usually the super big channels, you know, 10,000 subscribers, 100,000 subscribers. Those are usually the notifications I get. The ones that, JJ puts out or you put out, um, the ones that TJ puts out, I don't get. So, fair warning, heads up to y'all. This thing is really bad this morning. It has been for the last several days. Um, so, if I'm taking a lot more time reading comments, um, that's why. Because I was just trying to figure out who was in the comments chatting before I even started the stream, and I had to literally crawl up on the desk to be able to read it. So bear with me. I'm back. Uh, the rumors of my premature demise were highly exaggerated. I did not die. As you can see, I've been changing things around. Instead of facing this direction now and the desk facing that direction, I am now turned this way towards the window. Got everything set up. Hopefully here real soon, I'll either receive and or find. Well, let me rephrase that. Receive and or get somewhere to find the plug that I need to link the computer and the TV together. So I've got, like the 36-inch monitor up there. Then I won't have to lean in as far to read stuff. But let me get back down here real quick since people are talking. Oh, let me see here. Um, well, oh, he lives must be Tony. I can't see. Yep, it's Tony. What's up, guys? There's TJ right there. Good morning, sir. Hope you're doing good. Ben, you're a legend, my brother. Again, I apologize for the caps. I know it's easier for you to read. It is. It really honestly is. Yeah, you don't have to apologize because I highly appreciate it. Um, who dat? I wish I had a magnifying glass. At least it'd be a little crisper. Oh, Steven, good morning, bud. HDMI cable will do, bro. Computer to monitor. Chuck Norris died. Oh yeah, I've seen and heard more than enough about it. Oh, I have between YouTube and TikTok and Facebook and Instagram, I have seen probably 200 things in 2 days about Chuck Norris dying. I mean, we all knew it was coming, and sadly enough, it came a little sooner than I hoped, but you know, at least he's not suffering anymore. And I'm actually quite thankful, for some reason here for the last year, these paranormal people, certain ones in particular, 20 minutes after some popular or famous person's death is announced, they're out there doing a um, spirit box session or something, trying to communicate with them. They did it to Ozzy. They done it to Christ. Who all has died here recently in the last 6 months, 7 months? But I mean, they've done it to everybody, and I've not seen anybody do it to Chuck Norris yet. God knows I just threw that out into the universe. So, tomorrow there'll probably be something on YouTube or something where they've tried to communicate with him. All right. Um, Fair warning, do not message me on Messenger when we're doing this because, well, it stutters the stream. Oh, have you tried a magnifying glass? You could clamp up in front of your drill. It could help. Well, see, the problem is we don't go anywhere. For the last 3 weeks, the wife has been going to work at 7:30 at night, and she has been getting home at 6:30, 6:40 in the morning. She has to stay awake for about an hour, hour and a half, take the truck back to her aunt and uncle. Then they bring her back home, and then she goes to bed. And so we don't go anywhere. Um, and, we're, Christ, 40 minutes from a Walmart or something. And we don't, since we don't have the money, I'll be honest about it. We're really struggling right now with me having no income coming in. We all know how long Social Security takes. I contacted an attorney about a ADA lawsuit about my termination. They were very, very interested, and they're doing their research. And I think they're doing their research blindfolded in the dark because it's taking forever. Um, so, we don't have the money to go into town just to go to Walmart to find a something. We need to be able to go shopping or whatever. Um, it's Yeah, it's. I'm not going to ramble on about it. Everybody has money problems. But anyway, getting back to the wife, she's up and down all day long. Her phone rings, my phone rings. The kid gets home from school. The cat jumps on her chest and tries to cuddle with her. It's just, she's up and down. Last night, you know, the daughter had leftovers for dinner. I made ramen noodles. The wife woke up 2 hours later thinking it was only 5 o'clock. And it's like, no, it's 7 o'clock, honey. So, 2 hours till I go to bed. And she got all depressed because she wasn't doing her wifely duties. And I'm like, my God, kid, you're working 12 hours, 11, 12 hours a day. They schedule you for 10 to 6 or 11 to 7. They wind up calling you in 2 or 3 hours early. Nobody else will come in to relieve you at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, so you're stuck working there till 6 or 7, then coming home, then having to stay awake, then taking the truck back. Then you come home and eat something. Then you lay down and try to go to bed, and it's constantly. People know you're working nights, but people are bound and damn determined to message you and call you. You can't shut the sound off on your phone in case something happens to your mom or happens to one of my parents. So, you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. What are you supposed to do? I actually got her back to bed last night, though. She laid back down at like I said, she woke up at 7. She was up until about 11:30, laid back down. And dude, when I woke up this morning at 5 o'clock, she was sawing logs. The cat was on the bed. He was up walking on her chest, making biscuits on her boobs. And she's snoring right through it. And it's no big surprise. She along with I are, we both suffer from depression. I grew up in the 70s and stuff when you didn't have depression. You were just a, a troubled child. She was never medicated for her depression. She's had chronic depression since she was 11 years old. Our depressions kicked in over the finances and stuff. And, you know, yippee-ki-yo-ki-yay, mudderfutter. That's all I can say. All right, let's delve back in here. Uh, um, said a word after we sent. Wait a second. Let me get back up here. I got a feeling that's a TJ question. Makes me sick, brother. I've seen the one that does spirit boxes right after death. It's wrong, disrespectful. Should not. Oh, I agree completely. I agree completely. To me, it is very disrespectful. It is somebody, in my opinion, someone who. What the hell, man? I knew. I knew. Uh, I was going to forget something this morning getting ready for this stream. Forgot to turn on my damn light. um, TJ, Drew, you never said a word after we sent you the last music track. Was it that bad? Actually, that track was amazing. And the video coming up this coming Friday. Um, if I remember correctly, it is on the other channel on Paranormal Papa Investigations. I believe it was Paranormal Papa Podcast, episode 32. I used that music clip. And I use it for a good reason. And you, Mr. TJ Holton, star in the making, will be amazed how I used it and what I found. But it was great. I wasn't very big. You did one here a couple weeks ago. Anyway, a TJ Holton, whether or not it was you, done one for St. Patrick's Day. And I liked it as a folk song, but as a multi-genre or a country song, yeah, eh, eh. Great song though. It just, it didn't fit into what I know about you. Let me see if I can get this little thing off the screen right here. I apologize if I disconnect this or something, but that thing is sitting right in the middle of my screen. All right, there we go. Now I got to get that thing centered back up. Okay. All right, now back into this. You can use it at your desk to read chat. Yeah, see, I've actually thought about one of those clear plastic magnetic screens and just setting it right over the uh, the laptop screen, and it'll blow up what it can blow up. But if you set it right up against it, it really don't do a lot. You have to pull it back a little bit to enlarge things. And I need to find some way to free set it. If it don't come with legs and stuff on it and a frame, I have no way to preset it. Plus, you've got that. If I be honest with you, I have enough surplus materials and stuff around here that if I could just find the screen, I could actually build a frame with elevated legs so I could move it back and forth and it would go over the computer, um, and be able to magnify things that way. Um, Drew, you never said a word after we sent you last music. Was it that bad? Oh, I already read that. Read chat. TJ, Drew loves everything. I'm sure he liked your track. Oh, that track. I love that song. Oh, here I am down here in the corner. I saw my hand. Um, yeah. You've not released anything that I didn't like. I will tell you that right now, TJ. You have never released a music track that I didn't like. Now, whether it fit into your genre is a whole different story, but I still have liked everything that you have done, even the more that Jason Aldean style rappy, um, rappy stuff. You know, I'm not a big fan of rap, but if there's rapping, I'm sorry, if there's spitting, we'll go with that. That sounds even cooler. If they're spitting in a good country song, it don't bother me one bit. But when it comes to just listening to rap music, I left that behind when Run DMC quit performing, or when the Beastie Boys, you know, quit performing. Um, when the last Eminem song, I but in country music, it's a nice thing about country music. Country music is emotion, and you have got some very slow um, ballad type country songs. You have got your more upbeat, fast paced country songs, and then you've got them country songs where upbeat just doesn't do it. You need to move up to that, spitting lyrics, kicking rhyme, and I even like that. What can I say? I'm easy. I'm easy to please. Um, you can I have a table sized magnifier. Oh, that's cool. If I were your neighbor, I would show you how to enlarge your font and stuff, which you can do. See, I don't know about this laptop. Since it is an older laptop, uh, I don't know if I can enlarge the font without enlarging everything. And I mean, I think you've live streamed before, so you understand the fact that I've got the video playing and then I've got the chat over to the side. So I think it would enlarge everything too much, um, which poses a teeny tiny bit because then I can't monitor the stats on everything, and which, believe it or not, are actually a bigger print. So I can see that reasonably clear, but this over here is just teeny tiny little smears. Um, all I need is a great big screen. And see, that's what I was saying earlier. I have got a 36-inch monitor sitting right here, but I don't have the cord. Which, if you guys have picked up on this conversation before, where's my? That's that's not it. That's not it. Nope, not it. Oh, this will work for a perfect example. Here is. Wait a second. Where is it? Okay, here is a normal phone charger. At least here in the U.S. I don't know if they're the same way over in Australia or England or France or whatever. But here is a normal phone charger. My monitor and my computer both have this end on it. And I was supposed to have one sent to me, but I've never received it. One of you amazingly beautiful people had said that you had got online and found it. Um, and I never received it, so I don't know what happened. But yeah, that's the issue, is it's got that larger end on it that goes into your plug and not the end that goes into your phone. So yeah, that's the Tony knows what it's called. To me, the technical term is larger end pluggy thing, and it needs to be at least 3 feet to go from here back to the larger screen. Um, um, enlarging font is operating system controlled, not the machine. Thank you, Drew. Too bad they don't get the respect you give them. So I really appreciate the compliments. Always my pleasure, bud. That is a that is a two that is a 2A USB cord. Message me and I will send one. Okay, Tony, I'll do it, bud. That looks like an old style charger, not USB. They have USB-C now, even for laptop chargers. Message me your address. All right, Tony, I will. Even USB-C one side is slow charging. Flip it around, fast charging. I have a 6 footer in my car. Hmm. Well, see, the problem I've noticed, and I don't know if it would be the same since I'm not using it for charging, but the wife has got a couple of 6 foot standard charging cords. That way, she can, plug her USB charger in the wall outlet and run the cord to her phone on the bed so she can charge it, but it's still close enough that she can hear it. And the longer the cord, the slower the charge. And I've noticed it in here. I've brought a couple of longer cords in here to charge, you know, phones and stuff when I'm in here working. And they charge like super slow. But if you get like the little short cords, which that's all I really need is what 18 inches to go from the multi plug or the charging strip to the phone. This thing charges super quick. Like within an hour, it's fully charged. Less than an hour. But yeah, the longer ones it take. I had one that was the thick braided gray and black. I mean, really expensive. And hell, it took 2.5 hours to charge my phone on it. Now I've got like a 2 footer plugged in under the bed and just ran out my side of the bed. And I'll plug my phone in when I lay down to go to bed at night. And before I go to sleep, it dings and tells me it's fully charged. So, all right, let me get back to this now. Um, Nearly everything is USB-C these days. I think your problem is more visual than anything else. So if we could help you out, that should be fine. Oh yeah, it's completely visual. Um, so that's a bad thing about this cataract thing is if you've never suffered from cataracts or you've never known anyone that has. Imagine waking up and the the sun is just starting to come up in the east, and you've got like this hazy. Uh, let's just say it's been chilly and rained for several days, so the ground is saturated with water. And then you wake up one day and the sun is just starting to come up, so things are lighting up. You've got that little bit of haze, and then you've got this fog that's rising off the ground that's evaporating. Depending upon the day, sometimes, how can I phrase this? Sometimes I've got a mile or 2 mile visibility, and some days I can't see a foot out of my windshield. That's the easiest way to describe this eye. It just depends on how the cataract shifts over the eye. And there are times that I can lean my head and my peripheral vision is clear or clearer, not clear. But I move past that cataract and I can see. But as soon as I try to look at something head on, it's a wasted cause. You you should see me in here making videos. I actually started using the green screen again for my intros and outros, and I can't see if things are lined up or not. So you guys are gonna have to, watch these videos and then leave me a comment and let me know if I've even got things lined up or not. Um, I'm almost afraid to read them. um, well, those short. Wait, I think. Yeah, okay. Well, those short cords don't have data connections, so all they is do the 5-volt signal. The short, wait, the short charge specific, I meant to say. I got you. I'm working on a song for Santee and one for radio air. Very cool. Charge math. What up, dog? Hope you're doing good, bud. Oh, what is that? Crap, I can't see. Oh, message retracted. My mate's mom has had her cataracts removed. I really have not noticed any difference in USB cable length. I run 3 10-foot USB extension cables on my server. Hell, the one that runs to my amp has 2 extensions. Tony, you notice much of a. Well, this thing's just going crazy this morning. I've also noticed too that when it comes to reading something, if I can look directly at it, I don't have much problem reading it. But if I have to look down at something, that's why it takes me a little longer to read the comments real low in the chat because I'm looking down at it. So I'm actually looking at it from an angle, and it tends to blur just a little bit more. So, and I mean, like I said, I have those days. Um, the last couple of days here in Michigan, it's been in the 60s. We had what 2 days ago we were almost at 70, and or 3 days ago. Yesterday we didn't raise above 35 degrees. This morning it's 30 degrees out. And we had rain on and off all day yesterday, and today it's just cold. Hence, sweater, shirt, stocking cap. It's just bloody cold. Compared, I mean, I took the trash down to the curb last night, and it was raining, and I could already tell and that it was cooler. And I came in the house and I looked at my phone, and we had dropped almost 20 degrees from yesterday morning. Yesterday morning at this time it was 50, 59 degrees, and today it's 30. So yeah, we had dropped 20 degrees in like a 2 hour period. From the time I left here to the time I took the trash out, we had dropped 20 degrees. So it was just above freezing, which, very cold rain. Oh, let me see here. Um, it's not here. I'm sweating bullets. Wish the hell I was sweating bullets. Now, don't get me wrong, the last couple of days I've been sitting in here without a shirt on. It's got so bloody hot in here by 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning that I had to I had to take shirt off. Yesterday I was in here in a t shirt. and was actually, because if I wasn't filming, I would have not been. I wouldn't have even had that on. This morning, burr, burr. It is pretty chilly here. I'm in my, I'm in me jocks here, only not too warm. Huh. But yeah, now that I've, dragged on about financial issues and the weather and my eyes, um, I do want to apologize to everybody for the last 3 weeks. Um, Last week it was power. We lost power. It come on. It would flicker. It would reset everything. We'd lose Wi-Fi. Week before that, um, well, the 2 weeks before that, were straight up exhaustion. You know, um, I've got this thing right here sitting at the bottom of my sternum, and it started off as a skin tag. Everybody knows what a skin tag is. They're ugly little things, undeveloped, identical twin, whatever. But here for the last probably 5 or 6 weeks, I've started to get this really solid lump underneath it, and it's almost like the skin tag is sitting on top of a boil. And I called the doctor about it, of course, and he's like, "Well, I see you at the end of the month. Let's just worry about it then. We'll check it out." And uh, it's like this could be melanoma or a tumor or something. I know. Go on and say it. It's not a tumor. Um, but yeah, he wants to wait till like the 25th to check it out. So hopefully I'll get some kind of a something. But it's very sore. I mean, when I cough, it hurts. Um, I've been having a lot of issues with my upper abdomen. Um, really bad acid reflux and stuff, and I'm worried that it's actually rooting underneath and entangling. Shit, I don't know if that's possible, um, but it's been keeping me up at night. I've not been able to sleep. I'm up and down all night long. Um, but then last week I was feeling just a little bit better, and we had the power issues, and it's like, man, damn, every time I plan on trying to do something, it don't work. And I woke up this morning and I'm like, I am doing this stream. Come hell or high water, I am going to do this stream today. Probably because I had to sit through TJ lecturing me last week um, over not doing my stream. And I don't like being lectured by people who are old enough to be my child. So yeah, that, I did it. Um, so that should put me at 31 according to Noah. I'm missing things here. 31 Noah, so that should put it about 29. We usually run 2 degrees cooler than the city every is hot here. Um, or assist maybe. Yeah, or assist. I have antenna work I need to do, but not windy cold crap. Exactly. Okay, then next time I will do the lecture. Okay, sounds good. Um, Indoor digital antenna is the way to go. Gets every channel. Beware, I will not use moderate language. No need to muck with outside antenna. I didn't lecture you. I could have, Dad. No, it wasn't a lecture. It was more of general concern. You know, what's been going on? You've not been on for a few weeks. I'm worried about you. And, you know, I tease about it being a lecture. But in all honesty, it actually makes me feel um, more valuable than I've been feeling lately with the issues around here and stuff. Um, I watch her work so hard, and I'm not doing anything. It's even hard a lot of times to just do the dishes. If somebody drove very slowly past the front of the house and seen me in the kitchen window doing dishes, they would think I was just standing there staring out the window because I don't even look down because it's just a blur of colors. I don't know what I'm reaching for, until I pick it up. And a lot of times I'm just sitting there doing dishes like this, staring out the window. Or I have my eyes closed if it's really super bright outside, so I don't get a migraine. But, running the vacuum, um, hell, I almost ran over the cat's tail the other day with the vacuum because it was a darker corner, and the cat was laying there while I was vacuuming, wagging his tail. I almost ran over it with the vacuum cleaner. Uh, hey, can you pick that up on the floor? What? That piece of paper on the floor? Where? That it's laying right there. It's like a little, like a wad of paper or something. Where? I don't even um, I don't even get dressed anymore. I get dressed to come in here, but I never leave the house. So, I keep certain things in certain areas so they're easy to find. I was looking for something the other day, and God, after about 40 minutes of looking for it, I just gave up. And the wife walked right up and grabbed it. Um, yeah, that is what my name means exactly. General concern. There's a difference. Now, if you want a lecture, I'll give you one on some things. I get you now. No, God, I don't need any lectures. I get enough of them around here, about being an old man, and um, if things don't start to happen soon, we're gonna have to get me a seeing eye dog or a long white cane. I said, why? I never leave the house. Don't even go to the grocery store anymore. She either uh, she either stops on her way home, or unless she gets home early, or when she takes the truck back to her aunt and uncle, she'll run by the store on the way to take the truck back. So they bring her and the groceries back home. I've not left the house in 3 weeks. Oh, but I hope you guys have been enjoying the videos. Like I said, I've been doing the best I can. You know, Gonna have to hire me a full-time secretary and then teach them how to edit and stuff, because it's getting to that point where you should have seen me rearranging this room. That's one of the reasons, another one of the reasons why I wasn't on those first couple of weeks. Not only was I not feeling good, but it was taking me days and days and days to move things around and rearrange it. Um, this desk, uh, the top does not hook to the bottom. I have a three shelves here, and I have a large compartment here, and they don't hook together. So I'm trying to turn this 400-pound desk this way, and I'm having to stop and then lift the top up and move the bottom sections back in, and then turn it another couple inches and pick the top up and move the ends in, get up the backdrop, you know, rearrange stuff, try to figure out, not being able to see, what reenactment stuff I want to keep, what stuff I want to get rid of. Um, and it's just, it's been it's been crazy, but I've actually got a little bit more room in here now. I'd have a lot more room if I'd take the backdrop down, but I don't ever have guests, so why should I, have the full room opened up when I can use, what, 2/3 of the room from the backdrop this way? What can I say? Let me see here. Exactly. Well, what in the hell happened? That's insane. It just jumped like 10 comments at once. I was trying to figure out, I'm seeing things pop up here on the left side of the screen, but nothing was popping up down here. Um, Good. Who dat? Oh, hey, Jay. Good to see you, bud. I've been giving history lectures and old political lectures and how it's changed. Oh, it's changed. That is why you should never miss Monday shows. It is at least real time contact with the outside world. I agree. Good morning, Jay. Jay. Wow, that skipped a lot. I hate Mondays. Everything goes wrong. I see where VA posted being moved in. This is cool. Yes. Finally, it's all done now. I've got to get the weed eater rolling and the chainsaw cutting. We'll see. Howdy, all. I just made a deal with the tree cutter to clear out a bunch of suckers around the place here. Well, that's cool. I have a big chainsaw. It's okay. No, Sam. Good morning, Santee. Good to see you, bud. Um, Sucker being about 4 to 6 foot in diameter and 25 feet tall. To all that you are among the living. Oh, yeah, definitely among the living. It's much like I said at the beginning of this, contrary to recent stories, um, I'm still around. Alive and kicking. Well, mostly alive, but kicking. Oh, but dude, this thing is freaking busy this morning and going off like crazy. Oh. It's not been publicly announced yet, guys, but I'm going to go on and give you all the heads up. Um, Here the last few weeks, I have been talking about uh, the big event coming up the end of May, Ghostorama, Nashville, Michigan, at the Foxview Event Center, 975 Main Street. That has officially been canceled. As a member of the organizing committee and a scheduled speaker, um, I'm not very happy. I'm actually quite hurt, but I'm not hurt at our efforts. We have put everything into making this a successful event. The people that own the venue were putting everything into making it a successful event. And even though there are a lot of legends and myths and stuff around that area, haunted Quaker cemetery, dogman sightings, the main library in town being very, very haunted, and the police actually getting involved with getting reports of noises and the sound of people, footsteps echoing through the place before opening and after close. Um, and even though a local historian speaks quite avidly of the place, of the whole vicinity, the whole town, being paranormally racked up, the town, the business community, and the historical society wanted nothing to do with a paranormal event in the area. Um, Nothing. They were not willing to help in any way, shape, or form. They were not willing to cater. They were not willing to vend. Nothing. So we were forced to pull it. I don't know if there's going to be another. We are currently talking about um, group ghost hunts in the Michiana area. I know that very close by the Michigan Indiana line is what is called the Jeepers Creepers School. If you watch the movie, seen reference to a school where um, he was supposedly hiding bodies. In all actuality, the man that the movie was filmed after had buried a bloody blanket on this school area. Now, whether or not he used that school for other purposes is a whole different thing. Um, we are talking about doing that location this year, and Danny and the Southern Michigan Paranormals have got other investigations on the books. So as soon as we start to get some serious, decent weather, uh, we're going to start right up. I also, here about an hour and a half or 2 hours ago, just finished a new commercial to place on our videos, making myself available and some other members of the team uh, to go to different paracons, town investigations, government investigations, things like that. So we'll see if that benefits in any way, shape, or form. I see this chat a moving. Let me see if I can get in here. Um, Sunday. Who worked on Sunday in the. Wait, what? Oh, I'm falling too far behind. It's my understanding that Monday is still the start of the work week. I've written to my congressman, but it appears that can't be changed. Might be start of the work week, but Mondays are still fucked on all the paperwork from when I worked for Fed. Our work week started on Sunday. Is that so? Who worked on Sunday in the government? Federal police. Oh, then. Oh, them folks, okay. Not so much the pencil pushers. Very rarely. Sunday, technically. That's your flipping burgers and wondering how the hell you time to hold down a full-time job. Hey, Squatch. Hope you're doing good, buddy. Sorry, I am just up here rattling and can't see Jack Russell. So, if you guys will excuse me real quick, though, I think it's been about an hour. Oh, yeah, it has. I got to make a run real quick. But, do what you do. And I'll be back in just a second. I'm about ready to pop a gasket. And after seeing how long it's taking them to fix our car, gaskets are obviously hard to find. Yeah, see, that's been another issue with the depression and stuff. The car. They've had our car at the mechanic shop for almost a month. And they're having a hard time finding parts that they're willing to pay the price for. I mean, the everything they quoted us a price on the car. Of course, we didn't have the money for it, so her aunt and uncle covered uh, covered the cost of the repairs, but the timing chain cover was upwards of 1/3 of the total cost of repairs. And they're not willing to pay that. So now they're traveling around and calling junkyards, trying to find a timing chain cover that fits into the budget that they quoted us. Uh, to go on and get her car back or get her car fixed and back to us. So they're wanting to pay something in the $20 or $25 range. And if you go to one of the big auto parts stores, aftermarket uh, timing chain covers are anywhere between $150 and $200. And of course, you know, they quoted us $600 to do all the repairs, labor, everything. I don't know if you guys have had your cars worked on lately, but this is the time to be a mechanic or own a mechanic shop. My I told you guys before, a lot of you know my dad was a service manager at the same dealership for 40 years. Right before he retired, it went up to $65 an hour. It had been at $40 an hour for 38 years, labor. Right before he retired, it went up to $65 an hour. It's now anywhere between $140 and $160 an hour for labor. So this is the time to open a mechanic shop, guys. And if you're anything like these mechanics here, you've got, I'd say they've probably got 20 cars sitting over there to work on. So do the math. Some of these are engine replacements, some of them are overhauls. It is, they're raking it in. So how many of you, hush puppies, so how many of you know that the U.S. Coast Guard covers rivers in the United States? Well, that's a very interesting piece of information. Is a is a riverbank considered a coast? I didn't know that. I sit here in central Illinois listening to coast. Uh, listen along like central listening to Coast Guard on my radio, a long way from the nearest coast. This is the time to be a mechanic. Then why are so many fleeing? Because the cars are harder to work on now because they're 95% computer and 5% mechanical. Labor ain't what mechanics are paid. No, labor is what the business owners are paid. That's why I said this is the time to own a mechanic shop. When, wait, what? When I retired, I charged $85 an hour. That's what I was thinking also. I sure as hell didn't make half of 85. As far as rivers go,
reversible rivers. They are in charge of shipping.
Ah. They don't need to be in charge of shipping. Next thing you know, they'll be sent over to the Middle East to escort those ships through the Gulf over there to get them, out of the minefield. The, the Gulf of Bermuth or whatever the hell it's called over there.
They are in charge. Um, I've seen maybe two mechanic shops on my way to Tennessee. They're out there. That is for sure. They are out there. The old man's kicking himself right now. Here in just God, what is today? The 20. The hell is today? The 23rd, 22nd, 23rd. Today's the 23rd. In 7 days, my dad will be 85 years old, and he is kicking himself in the butt right now, knowing what mechanics are making. Of course, he can't bend over the front of these cars and work on them anymore. My mom's car, like I said a few minutes ago, is 95% computer, 5% mechanical. He don't have any of those tools anymore. Not that he really ever did. Of course, they relied on Fred at the dealership. Fred, kind of ridiculous electronic device, to do all the analyzing of the computers and stuff. And yeah, he don't have any of that equipment anymore to do that. They took my mom's car to the dealership um, 2 weeks ago for emission issues, and they were wanting to charge my mom and dad $140 an hour just to scan the car, and then the same thing to take half the engine or half the computer components out of it to get to the problem. And it wound up being a you $400 some odd chip that they had to replace and then put everything back in the car on top of it. Kind of reminds me of my ex father in law back in like 1986 or 87 when a guy brought in his daughter's Pontiac Fiero. Y'all remember those? The baby Firebird, rear engine, teeny tiny little thing, very well known for just randomly catching on fire. Um, he brought in his daughter's Fiero to have a spark plug change before she went back to school in the fall. She was going to college. And Pontiac had not released any information on how to work on those cars. And when you put them on the lift and lifted them up, there was no clear way to get to the spark plugs. What Pontiac hadn't told anybody was there was a steel plate that bolted to the frame and came up at an angle to the bottom of the motor. So they literally had to pull the motor on that Pontiac Fiero just to replace the spark plugs in it. What should have been $100 job became $1,000 job just to replace those spark plugs. Wasn't real happy. It was 2 years later that Pontiac released the schematics on how to work on those cars. But since there wasn't a Pontiac dealership anywhere nearby, he brought it to the Ford dealership. Yeah, you're right, mid-engine. You are correct on that. I always looked at it as a rear engine because it was in the rear. Much like the Volkswagen Beetle. Still to this day, one of my favorite cars. I keep telling myself, let me rephrase that. I keep lying to myself and saying that, once I get my eyes fixed and, get this, you know, initial back pay from Social Security for the disability, um, that I'm going to buy a car to fix up. Since the last car that I was a part of fixing up was my 67 Ford back in 1985. And I've got a super mechanic that lives right next door that can help me do the minor things to fixing it up, you know, tubbing it out, putting some extra wide tires on the back, giving it a fancy little spooky paint job. As I said, I'm lying to myself because I know I won't. I actually want to. I would like to find a little bug or something like that for my daughter. She is. Well, we're in the third month. She's 7 months away from turning 18 and being able to get her license uh, here in the state. She's not much on driving SUVs and stuff like that. She likes little things. So, you know, I figure, worst case scenario, get it painted up and fancied up, all spookified and stuff. Get my face put on the hood or the roof or something. This one. With the whole, paranormal papa investigations being looped over the top of me. And let her drive it around and advertise. Two birds with one stone. She gets transportation, I get advertising, and it's free. Fiero engine in front of rear axle. Beetle behind rear axle. Oh, yeah, okay. I wasn't even looking at axle placement. I was just looking at front of the car, back of the car. That's all I was doing. But hey, you're a mechanic and I'm not. I still have to watch YouTube videos to figure out how to fix things. You got it all up there. I I had one loved it, except when it rained, then it would shut down when running down the highway. Water got into the electronics. Drew, you come investigate the pissed off spirit in this house. You'll have a video. I guarantee it.
You know, it's really bad, TJ. I would like to be able to um, travel around and do different investigations. But much like I put in this new commercial, which will premiere in uh, what, 2 weeks? Yeah, it won't be in this week's videos on the other channel. It'll be in next week's videos in the other channel. Um, where I'm talk about what we're available for, and uh, travel is possible with compensation. If I'm right here close by, I have got a plethora. That is the word for today, plethora of other investigators and folks to that can see and drive uh, to get to different locations. But when it comes to long distance, um, I got to take a train, ride a bus, fly on a plane, and well, I don't have the money to buy a bottle of creamer for my coffee, let alone a train ticket or a plane ticket or a bus ticket. So it's a little self-explanatory. But there's a lot of locations. I'm being told that my concept for a new paranormal television show is good, but they want to see new investigations at different locations. It's like, okay, so I have to invest money for you to say, oh, yeah, this is good. I like your concept, and implement it. That's like, equipment. Well, your equipment's a little outdated. You need to get some newer equipment when you're doing this kind of stuff. Give me $10,000 and I'll go out and get all kinds of new equipment. Just right here in the studio, I'm using the same equipment I have used since Living History Comes Alive started. And that was, God, what, guys, 8 years ago? 9, 18, 100, 1,600 videos ago. Oh, what we got here? I know I'm still trying to raise the money for it. I'm using my music to raise the money. Okay, it's time to go weeding. Everybody have a great day.
You too, Jay. Take care of yourself, bud. Give Jan, give Jan our love, my love, our love, and I'm glad everything's coming together over there at the new house. I'm trying to use my music to revive my best history comes alive and to get you here for videos. Yeah, I mean, it would be really cool um, to be able to get to these different locations. Um, ouch. Man, when I lean down, it lays right on that lump, the edge of the desk. That hurts. But I'd like to be able to travel around and do some different stuff. You know, I would love to get to Iowa and Kentucky, even into Ohio, go back to Pennsylvania, go down to Tennessee. And that's just branching out, you know, right here. There's some places in Illinois that I would like to do, you know, not just private homes, but businesses, um, asylums, hospitals, old courthouses, city squares, um, historic historic locations, battlefields. You know, I have been seeing more and more and more stuff coming out of Gettysburg. And, you know, it's been, well, October will be 6 years since Mark and I and Christy and Mark's wife Jess all were at Gettysburg. But for me, it's a, you know, 8+ hour commute to get to Gettysburg and do these different places. Once you get there, you got to get a hotel for the whole time you're there, and you have to eat the whole time you're there, and the whole time you're there. You know, I watched a video real super early yesterday morning about somebody um, that had been out there and done their own clips and, you know, previously documented clips of the ghosts of Gettysburg. And, you know, I made the remark that, you know, we were not able to get footage like they got, mostly because it was October. Now, understand the place is really more active during the first, second, and third, and, you know, a few days either way of July when the battle actually occurred. And a lot of these videos and stuff were shot, and I'm just gonna put this out there only because it's the God's honest truth. They were shot illegally. You know, it's a national monument. It's a battlefield, national battlefield, and it closes to the public from 10 p.m. till 6 a.m. And there are people out there, you know, videotaping and filming who even say on their video, it's 11:45, it's 1 a.m., it's 3 a.m., and they're on the battlefield filming. Wrong person sees this. It is a federal trespassing charge. I'm almost 58 years old, and I have been able to avoid any kind of federal anything my whole life, and I don't plan on changing that now. I love investigating the paranormal. I do not love, you know, federal
criminal charges. So I avoid them by not breaking the law. I mean, it makes sense if you think about it. How do you avoid getting in trouble? Don't do anything to get in trouble for. Don't be a dictard. How do I keep from setting my equipment on fire? Don't do anything technical. Have somebody come that knows what they're doing and can see what they're doing. Um, that's why I'm trying to boost the members globally and airwaves. I don't blame you. Ugh. Just whatever you do, don't stop doing what you're doing. Don't get frustrated. Don't get depressed. I mean, it takes everybody a while to reach their destination. And it's like I've always said, sometimes the journey is more important than arriving at your destination. You know, I have been told multiple times since starting the other channel, my stuff is great. My stuff is educational. My stuff is scientific. My stuff is honest. My stuff is true. Why don't I have 10,000 followers by now? Well, easy. I have been at the other channel for 8 months, and it takes a while for it to spread out. I've been at this for 6 years. We've got not quite, I think, 5,000 followers on here. It takes a while for shit to spread out. Water spreads out pretty easy, but it's very thin and very transparent. Oil, on the other hand, don't spread as fast. It's thicker and it has consistency to it. And it just takes a while for that to trickle out to the places where you'd like it to go. It's the same with your journey with your music. You've got followers that like it, but getting those followers to share it out is the hardest part. It's the same with, the videos that I put out here and the videos I put out on the other channel. I have people who view it but never subscribe and don't share them out. And it's very slow to trickle out. I'm not angry. The journey is sometimes more important than the destination. Take the FCC, for example. They that don't or
multiple complaints. Yep, you have a valid point. Unless vandalism happens, it's probably low on the list due to their priority standards. They drew good morning.
Oh, hush puppies. Another one I have to read up close.
Wait, maybe somebody said hi to something. Um,
David, how you doing, bud? Good to see you. It's so much easier to wait for somebody else to say hi, so I don't got to struggle in there and lay my tuma on the edge of this desk.
thanks, Drew. Exactly. Getting others to share it out is, I think, I only have 13 subs on that channel. I'm doing good. Good to see you too.
See, I think you've got more than 13. I seem to, um, it just seems like there's more than 13. But, you know, once again, much like I told you the other day when we talked, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, I have put videos or snippets of videos on TikTok that I put on here. And they've got 70 or 80 times more views on TikTok than they have on here. I've got one video up on, I think I've only got like 4 videos on TikTok in the last 6 or 7 months. And one of them's like almost 1,500 views, and it had nothing to do with paranormal or history. The wife got her finger stuck in the damn pull ring on a can of black olives, I think it was. And she was afraid to grab the edge to pull the ring off. It was jammed up on her finger. And I filmed her coming up and having me take the thing off her finger, and boom, you know, 2 or 3 days, 1,000 views. It's hilarious what people watch. A lot of people get on there because they want to laugh. So sometimes putting up, different things don't take. But if it's funny or if it's musical, there's a female music performer on TikTok. Whenever she releases a new song, she puts a video on TikTok, and boom, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000 views. You need to work on videos. Even if you just go to the local bar and sit with your little teeny tiny tripod and your camera sitting up on the bar beside you, and you're sitting there, you know, drinking a beer or whatever the case may be, and every once in a while, you film around the bar, or you're holding your selfie stick, filming yourself walking down the road with the music playing in the background. It's those little things.
It's those little things that I see that blow up. I know you don't know anything about TikTok, but TikTok's even easier to upload on than here. You know, you make your video in your correct format for TikTok, you save it to your phone, you get on TikTok. I can show you. It's so bloody easy. Get up. There's your TikTok. If you look right down here in the center of the bottom, there's a plus. You hit that plus and you pop back to your camera. If you look over here to the far left side, nope, come back. If you look over here to the far left side, you'll see a little box. That pulls up your whatever that thing's called, your gallery. You hit whatever video it is that you want on there. Here, we'll go even better than that. We'll go with the most recent. Oh, it's not on this phone. That is the most recent. You've got the white and the red. Red says post. You hit post. It says next, I think once or twice. You hit that, and boom, it's posted. You know, of course, you got to set up your own profile and stuff like that. But it's just equally as easy to post on Instagram. And I know you know how to post on Facebook because you've done it. If you can't figure it out, I absolutely positively guarantee that your daughter, your oldest, can figure it out. If Brenna can't figure it out and you can't figure it out, I guarantee your oldest can figure it out. These kids these days are techno whizzes. I have any questions about anything, I go to my daughter. People these days, people have a short clip attention span. 173 plays on one song is the most plays. I know I'm trying to come up with videos. We're gonna go out and do some filming as soon as the weather warms up enough. I did a few TikTok videos before my account disappeared over there. I guess I wasn't active enough or something. I didn't think I have been on TikTok. I did have an Instagram account with the show filming. Well, I thought he said fishing. I don't know why your account would disappear on there. I didn't post a video in like four months over there,
and my account was still good. So I don't know. The key to TikTok: people are courteous on TikTok. If you go through and you're just flipping through and you're watching videos, regardless of whether it's like super in your genre of what you like, subscribe or hit the little plus sign on the far right side at the top. Hit the little heart underneath it. 99.99999 of those people will like your stuff back. They'll subscribe to you. They'll hit the heart on it. I've got paranormal on there. I've got comedy skits on there. I've got dancers on there. I've got news agencies on there. And 99.99999 of those have subscribed right back to me. I've got 15, 1,700 subscribers on there. Um, Facebook, 27, 2,800 subscribers. Instagram, about the same. Um, just in a matter of a few months. So definitely go through, subscribe to them, hit the little heart thing on everything they pop up on, and they will come right back and subscribe to you. The more of that occurs, the faster you're uploading music and liking it, and they are sharing it out and stuff. We're definitely oh, fishing sounds relaxing right now. And it's funny. I told my mom and dad when they came up this next time, which sadly will be here in the next couple of weeks. Another one of mom's sisters, um, one of the few that I actually liked, just passed away 3 days ago. So yeah, mom and dad will be making another unscheduled trip up to Indiana and then up here to see me uh, for the funeral and stuff. But I told them when they came up next that I wanted, since dad don't fish anymore, mom still does on occasion, but dad don't fish anymore. Um, I wanted one of the tackle boxes and a couple of the fishing rods brought up because, you know, if I can manage to swing it this year, I want to get my fishing license. I live 2.5 blocks from a lake, and it will be something to do in my unscheduled early retirement. Plus, it'll benefit the family because nobody goes fishing down there. They don't haul fish out. So, you know, that's going to be something that I grew up doing that I had to stop doing for the longest time because I don't have the stuff to do it. And I'm going to get back into. I'm going to enjoy some fishing. Yeah, I gotta out. I Well, that don't make any sense with light on it. We're oh, my condolences
appreciate it, TJ. I really do. She was, one of my three favorite aunts, but she was also one that, didn't let her success in life um, corrupt her personality. And that's one thing I loved about her. For 25 years, she was a major part of a large shopping group. She owned stock in a large grocery store chain, and they were all over Indiana. Marsh grocery stores, Marsh superstores. And when Marsh closed down 20 years ago, she bought stock in another large Indianapolis company. And I'll be honest about it without sounding, wrongful, but she was rolling in it. And, when she finally retired, uh, she backed away from being on the board of these locations and just kept rolling in the dough. And now I know there's going to be a, a discussion of, who and where the fortune goes. I mean, she wasn't royalty by any means, but she was comfortable. Always the nicest furniture, always the nicest house, always the nicest car. So I know that, there's going to be a discussion on how this is divided now. Um, Shit, I gotta jump out. I forgot trash. Take care. You too, Tony. Take care of yourself, bud. Um, Bud Files. Good morning. Hope you're doing well. We got to work these schedules out so you can actually get in here earlier. Oh, yeah, discussion. I've heard that line before. Doesn't always go well. No, it don't. And what's sadly enough is um, two of the four kids are married into some some pretty prominent families. Um, Two of them not so much and don't really care about it. One of them built a cabin. He was living in Montana in a ghost town, an old western ghost town, just doing tours and stuff. And him and his wife bought 25 or 30 acres of land in Washington State and moved up there, built an off grid cabin. I mean, a real off grid cabin. Solar energy, outhouse, the whole shebang. And they're happy. They don't care. The other one don't care. So I don't know. Maybe I'm writing more into it. It's just a feeling. And believe you me, I have learned to trust my feelings. I have learned to trust my feelings.
Mafia families. No, not quite mafia, but no, no. Um, well-to-do, prominent. He's living my dream. Not cool, man. I want to build a town and open to public. I'd love to too. I would love to do something like that too. But I keep thinking the same thing. We have large homes and stuff here in the area um, that are very well known to be inhabited by living living challenged individuals, and I would love to open a haunted Airbnb so people could come in. They're not going to pay some ungodly frickin' amount to stay there. Normal, average prices. They can hunt. They can reserve it for family get-togethers or parties or whatever the case may be. I would love to do something like that. If I had 1.5 million dollars, I'd buy Henderson Castle and keep it rolling as a haunted Airbnb, just what it is now. But I, I don't have $1.5 million. If I did, it's just up in Kalamazoo, an hour away. Hell, I'd live there. We'd uh, we'd fix this place up, rent it out, and we'd live up there at Henderson. The kids only got what 2.5 months of school left, and I'm telling you, you've not experienced something till you've experienced Henderson Castle. It's got a full bar. It's got a full working kitchen. It's got large conference rooms and dining areas, plenty of rooms upstairs, ballroom, dance hall, everything. Nothing as big as old Tucson, more like Mooresville. Yeah, and see the really cool thing about those towns like, Captain Bob's got there at Mooresville. They rent that place out for weddings. They have the chapel right there on the property. They've got the covered bridge. They've got, the two-story cabin. They got the blacksmith shop. They have the great big covered shelter to host parties and stuff in. They do weddings. They do all kinds of stuff. Not to mention the events that they do for the historic events. So yeah, that's a good setup up there. It'd be kind of nice to build a few more cabins where you could actually do cabin rental there. But they're off to a good start. Oh, Well, guys, it is that time. I'm glad y'all could come in and join. It's your first time back in 3 weeks. I'll do my best to not miss any more in the near future. Sometimes can't be helped. Like I said, those first couple weeks, this place was a frickin' mess, man. There was no way I could have even sat down to do a stream, let alone got to the stuff I needed to do a stream. Last week it was the power issue and everything. So, but we're back. So don't forget, go over and check out the other channel, Paranormal Papa Investigations, and be watching on here for new videos every Friday night at 7 o'clock p.m. and on Paranormal Papa Investigations on Wednesday night 7 o'clock p.m. We have the weekly video coming out, and then at on Friday at 7 o'clock p.m. we have got new episodes of Paranormal Papa's podcast coming out each and every week. We cover an array of stuff on there. So what was that? Something just popped up. Huh? What? Take care, Drew. Message me anytime, please. It's nice to talk to folks once in a while. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. But that's it for this week. Until next Monday, take care of yourselves. Take care of each other. God bless you. God love you. I do. We'll see you next week, y'all.